In the previous lectures, as we have already discussed about what are the limitations of conventional mobile telephone systems and what is a basic cellular system and what are the types you are having, that is circuit switching, packet switching. So in this lecture, we will discuss about the total cellular concept. What is meant by a cell, why the cell should be in the same shape. So regarding the cellular concept, we will discuss. So first of all, you will see early mobile radio system was to achieve a large coverage areas by using a high powered transmitter with an antenna mounted on a tall tower. But in that case, it was impossible to reuse those same frequencies throughout the system. That's why there was limited usage of the whatever the channels available. Since in any attempts to achieve frequency reuse, it would be resulting interference because of the usage of large coverage areas by using high powered transmitter with a large antenna mounted on the tall tower. So this was what we have seen in the conventional mobile telephone system, and we have studied about all what are the limitations they have undergone. So to overcome those limitations, we are entering into the concept of cellular concept. So the fruitful results which we are enjoying now. Cellular concept is a system level idea which calls for replacing a single high power transmitter with low power small transmitters, with each providing coverage to only a small portion of service area. Okay, what is cellular concept is we are replacing here a high power transmitter with low power small transmitters, and they are each transmitter is covering small portion of area with a small antenna. So here we are totally replacing a high power with a large antenna with a small, that is low power small transmitters with small antenna and limited to some service, limited portion of area. So each base station is allocated a portion of total number of channels available to entire system. So here the total channels whatever we are having, we will divide them into the group of subsystems. So nearby base stations are assigned different groups of channels. So how these channels are assigned, whatever the frequency channel assignment, everything you will see in the fourth unit. So just now we will remember that we are assigning a nearby base stations into different groups of channels, so that all the available channels are assigned to a relatively small number of neighboring base stations. So nearby base stations are assigned different groups of channel so that the interference between the base station will be minimized, because we are reusing the same number of channels that we will see later. We are calling that concept as frequency reuse. So to avoid the interference between base stations, we will assign different groups of, here we have to remember we are assigning different groups of channel for the nearby base stations to avoid interference between the base station or to minimize the interference. Okay, this is about a small basic. So actually to say what is a cellular concept is the technique of substituting a single high power transmitter by several low power transmitters to support many users. It is the real concept or the backbone of the cellular concept. So in order to provide for many users, we are we are substituting a single high power transmitter with several low power transmitters, and each transmitter having a small antenna, and each transmitter and antenna is covering the small portion of the area, and the channels are limited. The channels given to us are limited. Those available channels only we are using in an efficient manner. So what are the techniques to be undergone to to utilize the available channels is that we are going to study in the foregoing classes. So in practice, the following are the four parameters that are most important while designing a cellular system. That is, system capacity, quality of service must be there, good, spectrum efficiency must be good, and the power also should be managed. So by taking into consideration these four concepts, we have to design any cellular system. So before going to the different techniques, we will see first of all what is a cell in the cellular system. What is a, we will get on this term cell many times. So first we will see what is a cell. That is, the power of the radio signals transmitted by the base station decays as the signals travel away from it. So, whenever the signal travels away from the base station, the power of the radio signals will be decaying. So, a minimum amount of signal strength. So, let here we say it as X dB is needed in order to be detected by the mobile station or the mobile setup, which may be the handheld personal units or those installed in the vehicles. Here the mobile unit means it may be the handheld or the mobile unit which is installed in the vehicles. So here we will consider a minimum amount of signal strength X dB is needed in order to be detected. That signal strength it must have if you want to detect the signal. So the region over which the signal strength lies above this threshold X dB is known as the coverage area of a base station, and it must be a circular region considering the base station to be isotropic radiator. So the region over which the signal strength lies above which the threshold value X dB what we have assumed is known as the coverage area of a base station. Base station or cell generally will replace the term. So the coverage area is nothing but the region up to which the coverage portion up to which the signal strength we are able to receive the signal strength, or we can detect the signal strength, that is called as the coverage area. The coverage area of the base station is called as a cell. So, and generally as we are taking the base stations to be isotropic radiator, antennas are isotropic, we will consider the coverage area, that is it must be a circular region. So considering the base station to be isotropic radiator, such a circle which gives this actual radio coverage. That's what I told. So the circle which gives the actual radio coverage, that is up to which we can detect the signals are strong. That's coverage area we are calling as a footprint of a cell, or we will call as a cell, or that is the coverage area we will say. So that is the definition of a cell. The coverage portion up to which we are able to detect the signal strength is called as a cell or footprint of a cell. So it might so happen that either there may be an overlap between any two side by side circles, or there might be a gap between the coverage areas of two adjacent circles. So such a circular geometry therefore cannot serve as a regular shape to be described cells. Okay, generally if we are considering the cell as a circle, there may be overlap between adjacent circles if we take, as here we have shown in this diagrammatic view. You can see here there is a overlap with the adjacent circles if you take like this, or if you take gap between these two, or if you take adjacent, here some gap will come. So we have to decide what should be the circular shape, that is a cell shape, such that there will be no wastage of the area. The circular geometry therefore cannot serve as a regular shape to describe cells. So then we have to decide the shape of the cell. We need a regular shape for cellular design over a territory which can be served by three regular polygons, namely equilateral triangle, square and regular hexagon, which can cover the entire area without any overlap. So as that circular is giving the shape of the circle is going to overlap or waste of the area. So without area wastage, the only possible combinations of the regular polygons are, it may be equilateral triangle, square and regular hexagon, which can cover the entire area without any overlap and gaps. So among these, what is the hexagon shape we are deciding on the theoretical basis, we will see. So here you can see in this figure, there is A is a theoretical coverage, we are taking some shape, is hexagon shape we are taking, it is covering total portion, there is no wastage of area, there is no overlap. And you can see here ideal coverage, actually ideally if you take it will be more or less circular shape only. This is the ideal coverage, and real coverage is there will be no, that is we cannot say that exactly it is circular, it will be some random which is closely approximating to a circular shape. So in the real coverage area. So why the hexagon shape we have taken for theoretical coverage is, there are some reasons why we are considering the shape of hexagon for the understanding purpose when we come to the theory. For a given distance, in the theory when they will say that a cell is the concept, means the cell shape what we will take is the shape, hexagon shape we will take. So for a given distance between the center of a polygon and its farthest perimeter points, the hexagon has the largest area of the three when compared to the triangle. That is, we have seen square and so we have among all these three, the hexagon is the one which is having the farthest perimeter point. So and it has the largest area of the three polygons what we have seen. So thus by using hexagon geometry, the fewest number of cells, that is less number of cells, can cover a large geographic region, and hexagon closely approximates a circular radiation pattern which would occur for an omnidirectional base station antenna and free space propagation. Normally omnidirectional antennas are used in center excited cells. What is meant by omnidirectional antenna and directional antenna? Omnidirectional antenna means, so in the 360 degrees direction, the radiation pattern will be there. In all the 360 directions, the radiation pattern will be there. So normally omnidirectional antennas are used in center excited cells and directional antennas are used in corner excited cells. So what is meant by directional antennas? Directional antennas means the radiation pattern will be only in particular direction. That we will see in the next classes. So here the shape of the size is, first why we have taken hexagon is it is the farthest perimeter points and it covers the largest area, that is with few number of cells we can cover the large portion, and another one is the fewest number of cells, that is okay, and it is closely approximating the radiation pattern is, as we are taking the isotropic radiators antennas, so the radiation pattern is circle and hexagon is nearly, it is approximating the circular pattern. So that's why we are considering the hexagon as the shape for the describing a cell in the theory. So next coming, these three are the most important points why we are taking the hexagon for theoretical coverage. Thank you. In the next class, we will discuss what are the cellular concepts, that is what is frequency reuse, what is clusters. So the other concepts we will discuss. Thank you.